Well. Hello, everybody. We got a good crowd checking in already, and we just finished the 30-second countdown. Good to have everybody in there on June the 5th, 2022. It's our 194th episode or occurrence of Speaking of Zane. 194 weeks. That's coming up on August 5th. It'll be 4 years. Wow, man, what in the world? 4 years we've been doing this. It's crazy. But I'm not tired of it yet, so I'm going to keep doing it until everybody else is tired of it and nobody's here but me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But good to have everybody in there tonight. Boy, it's been crazy around here as usual at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. But let me chronicle a little bit about what we've been up to. But let me give a shout out to those that are here today. My cousin Toby. Hey, Toby, I hope you enjoyed that race today from Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis, Missouri. First time we've done NASCAR in St. Louis. I don't know if it's ever or in a long time anyway. And the company I happen to work for is the primary sponsor. The what do you call it? The raceway is basically ours. Worldwide Technology, and it's an amazing thing. It's a big buzz around the company, and one of our founders and our chairman, Dave Stewart, him and his son are really into NASCAR, and it's just really cool. So I did get a chance to watch a good bit of it, and then I switched back over to the Braves game, and that was a very ugly final out of the game, but I'm glad it didn't go into extra innings for the third week in a row. Braves win 8-7. But let me give some shout outs here. I started with Toby, and I got sidetracked because of NASCAR and Braves, but there's my buddy Daryl in St. Louis, speaking of St. Louis. And Daryl, you and I have to get out to Worldwide Technology Raceway sometime. Man, that would be a blast, wouldn't it? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see. Who else do we have here? My Aunt Mary. Hey, Aunt Mary, down in South Georgia. My good friend Steve Shirley in Papillion. I think you're in Papillion. There's some fine line between Papillion, Ralston, La Vista, all of that. But good to have Steve in there. Brenda Lusk up in Michigan. Carl Kihas over in, Carl, where are you at? Are you in Independence, Missouri? Where the heck are you? Somewhere in Missouri, I believe. There's my dad down in South Georgia. I know where he's at. Fitzgerald, Georgia. A proud Fitzgerald native. There's my buddy Jim Miller. Hey, Jimbo. Let's see. Yeah, you're right, Toby. Yeah, the lower divisions have race there. It's a good sized track, but the NASCAR the upper cup race has never been there. All right, let's see. Katie Aaron's in there up in Michigan. Hey, Katie. Oh, okay, Daryl. So your daughter was at the race. That's awesome. All right. Well, that's all the more reason you and I have to get out there to that racetrack. I've never been to it, and it's all the buzz at work right now. Matt won't be able to join today, but likely. But I did get a thank you. This is Katie speaking. I did get a thank you in this week. Did he get Army Vietnam vet? Man, Michigan is full of Vietnam vets. That's incredible. I love it, Katie. I will add that to the Thank a Vet Challenge list here in just a minute. Steve confirms Papillion. Okay, Warsaw, you guys, that's right. You guys did a little moving to, you guys built a little cabin or something, didn't you? And you, okay, so you're, all right, so Q says he's just east of Andy Avery. So Andy Avery and I have been in touch. Mike McCormick and I split up the list of people to contact for the reunion. I don't know if Amy's in here tonight, but we decided we wanted more CSEs at the 10th Acts reunion this time than we had in San Antonio, which was about 5 of us. There's about 5 or 6 of us, but we'd love to have some more. And so Mike McCormick and I split up the list to contact, and he's contacted a few. I haven't contacted, but Andy Avery's on my list to contact, and he doesn't have any excuses because he's right there in Missouri, so he's not too far. But well, good, yeah. So Andy and I have been talking about getting together since before the pandemic because I go to St. Louis a lot, and he invited me out to his television station. In fact, he said, "You want to climb my tower?" And I'm like, "Heck no!" But he's an engineer for a television station. He's also a farmer. But anyway, thanks for the reminder, Carl, because there's a few contacts I've got to reach out to and try to see if they can make it to the 10th Acts reunion in September. And I love this because Amy and Steve and all the radio operators and all the official members of the Acts include us. So we were not members of the Acts. We were members of the 513th AMS, but we flew every mission they flew, and I feel honored that they consider us one of theirs to invite us to the 10th Acts reunion. So, and Carl, I went to the, I've got Westbrooks is on my list, Hensley. I'll share my list with you, but maybe between the both of us, we can make sure we hit everybody. But anyway, that'll be a lot of fun in September at where are we going? Branson, Missouri. So, all right. So let's see. My cousin Toby got me sidetracked, and now my friend Carl got me sidetracked. That's okay. Steve says we are family. I love it. Steve and I took the best trip together. Steve and I went to Navy London together on one of our trips from Offutt. I'll never forget that, Steve. That was something. And we were civilian clothes, and we weren't really equipped. I was in cowboy boots, and I don't remember what, but we weren't really blending in. At least I wasn't. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Well, let's see. So Lori is not in here tonight. You know why? Because she's at the Atlanta airport. Last Sunday night, I went to the airport to pick up our friend Kathy Cobb. So we moved, speaking of Zane, until Monday night, Memorial Day night. And our friend Kathy and her husband Gordon were in Jamaica. And to get back to the States, she got a test negative for the stupid Chinese coronavirus thing. Well, Gordon tested positive. Kathy tested negative. Gordon had to stay back for 6 days. So Kathy came on home, but his car was there. He's going to need it to get home. So anyway, Lori and I offered to pick up Kathy at the airport. So we did that last Sunday night, consequently moved, speaking of Zane, to Monday night. Well, Gordon got home. Gordon made it home and everything. But what got me on that? Oh, Lori. So Lori's at the airport. So here it is another Sunday night. Lori's at the airport right now. Lori and our little grandson, Everett, our daughter, Hannah's little boy, who you guys see quite a bit on my Facebook post. they're at the airport picking Hannah up. Hannah has been overseas for about the last month, and she just got back in tonight. Lori and Everett went out there to pick her up. So Lori is not on tonight. She'll have to watch the recording of Speaking of Zane. All right, let's see. Aunt Paula. Hey, Aunt Paula. I am so glad you're feeling better. You're out and about. I'm gonna get to you in a minute, and you're already adding to your Thank a Vet list there. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and scroll down here. I gotta add one for Aunt Paula, Army Vet. You have been a very busy patriot. So I'm going to add that, and I got to add Katie. Katie had a Vietnam vet, no surprise there. It's like every Vietnam vet in the country lives in Michigan, I think. So I'm going to add those. Okay, let me add our total up here. You guys stick with me. It'll be worth it. So we'll add that. Okay, good. I'm up to date now. Okay, well, good to have you in there, Aunt Paula. Lori and I were talking about getting down there to my Warriors place here over the next month or so, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to. I got this program I run at work where I've got student engineers, and I'm graduating a group of engineers in June, and I'm bringing on a whole new group of engineers in June. And my time is at a premium right now. But we will be back down there in Tampa, I guarantee, over the next 12 weeks or so, for sure. But let's see. Toby says, how's the racetrack? Let's see. How is the racetrack considered St. Louis, but it said Madison? Well, it's kind of like Atlanta, right? You can say you're in Atlanta if you live 100 miles away. That's kind of how St. Louis is. It's all based on point of reference. But anywho, all right. Well, let's see. So I missed an anniversary last week, and I wanted to call out happy anniversary to my in-laws. That's Lori's mother, Caro, and her husband, Stan. Believe it or not, they got married the same year Lori and I did. So here's the story. Lori was in basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in, I guess it was about 1982 or 3. And Lori's mother came out from Southern California. Lori's mother came out for the graduation week. Lori's mother met Stan, who was a drill instructor, and they fell in love and got married. It's crazy. And they've been married just almost as long as Lori and I. They got married just after Lori and I did. But it's an incredible story that you wouldn't believe it, but it's true. Anyway, so and then Stan went on to retire from the Air Force. And but anyway, happy anniversary. 38 for them. 38 years. All right, let's see. My dad says, I'm not Michigan, but there's a lot there. You know, I got to get to Michigan. You know, I've been through the Detroit airport, but I have never been to Michigan proper. And I understand it's absolutely beautiful, the Finger Lakes and all. Am I getting that right? The UP and all of that stuff. But I know the Aarons have invited us to come up, and we've invited them to come down. But anywho, I need to get to Michigan. Well, Aunt Paula, you can be sure that whenever we're down there, we're going to do our best to make sure that we see you. Full show. Yeah, the Yankee Air Museum. They have a B-17 there. They sure do. More about the B-17 in a minute. But yeah, the Yankee Air Museum has the B-17 is called Yankee Lady, I think, or something like that. Look it up. But anyway, let's see. Daryl says Madison's not much of a town. I mentioned Madison, and most people don't have a clue. Yeah, it's all about the metro area. But a lot of people, a lot of people that work for our company, they say I'm on the other side of the river. When they say that, that means they're not in Missouri; they're in Illinois. But we have our company is spread out. Our headquarters is in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, Maryland Heights, Missouri, but we say St. Louis. but our big distribution center is over in Illinois. But anyway. But yeah, Daryl, we're gonna have to get that on the calendar. Now that it's in the NASCAR rotation, we gotta do that, buddy. All right, well, let's see what the heck else is going on here. Happy anniversary, Stan, Caro. House fire update. Nothing really going on next door. I mowed the grass yesterday, mowed their grass, and but they have not started on the house. They've been done demoing the inside, cleaning it all out for a month now, but they haven't got started on it. But all right. Hey, I have a weight loss update. Listen to this, Aunt Paula. I was stuck for, gosh, probably 3 or 4 weeks. I was stuck at 42 pounds. I was stuck. Well, I'm proud to say I'm at 43 pounds lost now. So I'm, maybe I have broke that stall, and I am on my way to 50. Yeah, Toby, I'm on my way to 50. That's my next goal. So I've got, what is that? 7 more. And that's my goal before I go to St. Louis on June the 20th. June the 20th. So that's 15 days. 15 days to lose 7 pounds. Can I do it? I don't know, but it'd be nice to get back to my corporate headquarters and be able to tell people I've lost 50 pounds. We'll see. We will see. But all right. So that's a good update. And speaking of B-17s, there's a B-17 that's operated. Keith, hey buddy, how you doing? Keith Valencia in there, one of Zane's battle buddies. But yeah, so there's less than 10 flying B-17 fighting fortresses left. And if you're younger and you never studied World War II history, the B-17 bomber was the primary bomber that fought the air war in Europe during World War II between the years of 41 and 45. And they also flew the B-24s, but the B-17 was the iconic heavy bomber based out of England with the 8th Air Force, the mighty 8th Air Force. And of all the B-17s that was produced, there's less than 10 flying now. In fact, we unfortunately had a B-17 crash just a few short years ago. There was a B-17 called 909 that was operated by the Collings Foundation, Collings, Collings. And unfortunately, that B-17 crashed after having engine trouble as it was bringing a group of passengers in on a flight. And 2 pilots and several of the folks on board were killed. But anyway, that brought the number of flying B-17s down even one more. Incidentally, I've flown on that B-17, the 909, in about 2006. I had the opportunity to fly on it out of Savannah. What a thrill. It's about a 40-minute flight, and just incredible to be there. And you guys know I've been involved in the restoration of a B-17 at the mighty 8th Air Force Museum in Savannah for about the last 12 years. Very small part. The radio compartment is my area. I am considered the chief radio operator on board the B-17, called City of Savannah. That's the name of it. But anyway, there's one of the flying B-17s is called Texas Raiders. That's the name of it. It's operated by the Commemorative Air Force out of Midland, Texas. And Lori and I saw it last May about this time up here in Rome, Georgia. Well, they've been here, Texas Raiders, and its crew has been here in Georgia for the last two and a half weeks. They flew over to Savannah and they participated in the Memorial Day activities at the mighty 8th Air Force Museum. For, gosh, probably 4 or 5 days they were there, and then they left and went to Douglas, Georgia, from Douglas to Peachtree City, I think, and then they wound up They wound up in Kennesaw, Georgia on Friday, Saturday, and today. And that's just right here. That's where my son Jackson flies out of. And anyway, so I've been watching them on FlightAware. And I said, well, I'm going to run out there to the airport today and see if I can catch a landing or a takeoff. And I did that this afternoon and got to the end of the runway there and got a takeoff and captured a little video footage and a couple of still shots, but you can see those on my Facebook page. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy that. There's less than 10 of them operating now, and Texas Rangers or Texas Raiders is one of them. Consequently, Texas Raiders is the hat of the week. You guys know I often wear hats, ball caps, and I often tie the ball cap to what the heck's going on? What are we up to? What are we doing? Maybe something. And it was very easy today to select the hat of the week. So there you go. Hopefully, if you had never seen one of these B-17s or one of the two operational B-29s, Fifi and Doc, you need to do it. If they come to a city near you, I tell you what, you'll be blown away for sure. All right, so that is the hat of the week. Let's see. Let me do a little double check here. Well, Keith, I kind of spilled the beans last week on last week's session. I don't know if you watched the recording or not. I didn't mention your name, and I won't mention your name today. This is coincidentally that I'm talking to you, but I did mention that there was a battle buddy of Zane, somebody that Zane served with in the 3rd ID and deployed to Iraq with, that somebody, a battle buddy of Zane's who is having a baby next month and has decided to name their baby Zane, their firstborn son Zane. How about that? We are still absolutely blown away that there'll be another little guy running around in the world called Zane. That's amazing. And made my wife cry. I mean, my eyeballs were leaking a little bit, but anyway, pretty amazing for sure. And that's what we do right here. Speaking of Zane, is we say his name to keep his memory alive. But Keith, I tell you what, buddy, that is heavy. And to know that there'll be a little guy running around called Zane is just amazing to me. But anywho, I better move on before I start weeping here. But good to have you in there. All right, this week in military history. I only pulled up one item because it stands on its own. It stands alone, and I don't want to cloud it with any others. And that is June 6th, 1944. That's tomorrow, June 6th, tomorrow. And that, of course, is D-Day, the anniversary of D-Day. Some call it the Normandy landing. Some call it Operation Overlord, which it was. But most people recognize that day as D-Day. And fits right in nicely with the B-17 theme tonight. And just an amazing story. If you've seen Saving Private Ryan, that's probably the movie that's captured the most accurate, graphically depicted what it was like there. Those guys just storming the beach and knowing the odds were against them. And they did it anyway. Just an incredible. And then speaking of the B-17 and the B-24s and the 8th Air Force. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not. I didn't know this until several years ago, but over 10,000 airmen were killed. 10,000 airmen from the 8th Air Force, the Air Force based out of England. Over 10,000 were killed in the air war over Europe. Just an incredible statistic to even put your head around. But it's crazy. But so D-Day, incredible tomorrow. Operation Overlord. Makes me want to go watch Saving Private Ryan tonight, for sure. Steve, I was thinking about you today when I was putting my show notes together. I know you guys visited Omaha Beach, and oh, that's cool. You got some of the beach, but yeah, that's just an amazing. Steve, I've told people time and time again that if I were to go back and be stationed at Mildenhall again, like we were in the '80s, I would do so much more than we did. We did a lot, but I didn't do the things that I would do today, and a lot of that would center around World War II. But anywho, that's this week in military history. So Caitlin and I would love to know how you and Lori picked the name Zane. Okay. Well, I don't know if we've ever told the story on speaking of Zane or not, but we kind of stumbled on it. Now, Zane was born in 1989, and we had just come back from RAF Mildenhall to Offutt Air Force Base about a year before. So we got back to Offutt about October, November of '88. And then I guess just a few months later, Lori got pregnant with Zane, and Zane would later be born in December of 1989. And we had our son Tyler, and we got Tyler from, now these are both baseball related answers, Keith. We heard Tyler because Pete Rose had a son named Tyler. And when I heard that for the first time, I'm like, wow, that's a good name. That's a cool name. And so Pete Rose's son, Tyler, is where we got the name for our son, Tyler, who is 37, 38 years old now. And then here comes Zane. So we went around and round and round, and somehow we landed on Zane because there was a pitcher. He spent a little bit of time with the Braves named Zane Smith. There was a pitcher named Zane Smith, and that's where we got the name from. I had never heard of the famous Western author Zane Grey, although I obviously have, but at the time I had not, and it was from Zane Smith, the Major League Baseball pitcher. So there you go, Keith. Now you know. Lori tells me that Zane is becoming somewhat of a popular name these days. Who knows? I don't follow that kind of stuff, but it'd be kind of cool if it is. All right. Well, that is this week in military history. Let's move along to the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. We had a few visits this week, and Daryl, I don't know if I had you I've got you for one visit, but you might have made two. Correct me if I got that wrong. And then Jim Miller, if you're in there, let me know if you visited Omaha National. I don't know if you did or not. I know you normally do, but I couldn't find that for some reason. But what I do know is we've got a new one that I did not count last week that I've added to the map. If anybody wants the map, I'll put the map in the chat. Hang on, let me do that right now. In fact, now some of you may not have the map. Let's see if I can find the map here real quick. Let's see if I can find the map. Started plotting this. We started doing the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Wow, a long time ago. Maybe 3 years ago. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, that'll work. But I added a new one. It's always exciting to add a new one to the map. We'll put the map in the chat here if anybody wants that. Okay. Yeah, Memorial Day. I got your Memorial Day. So that's one for you this week. Okay. Let's see. There's your link in the chat. Anybody wants to see the map. But All right, so Daryl made a visit. I'm waiting on Jim. Nope, Jim didn't make it, so I'm going to take that one away. Good. All right, so Daryl made a visit. Jim did not. I did not make a visit this week, but the one I was talking about last week that I missed, Carl, is you and Peggy stopped off at Shiloh National Cemetery. Shiloh National Cemetery, and I looked at our map, and that's a new one for us. So thank you for getting a new one. I have since added it to the map. So we had a new one this week. We had a total of 2 visits. That gives us 632 visits to, I just remembered I have meatballs in the oven. I better hurry up. Okay. 1 new cemetery, 2 visits this week. So 632 visits to 157 different cemeteries. All right. So I appreciate you guys doing that right along with us. Man, it would take Lori and I forever to make 632 visits all by ourselves. So thank you guys for doing that. And somebody let me know. Click on that link I put there for the map, and let me know if the map indeed comes up. And if it doesn't, I'll figure it out. But anywho, all right. So that is the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Oh, I had another note here. My dad put in the chat, or my dad posted this a little while back, but there was this coroner's office in Pennsylvania, somewhere in Pennsylvania. They stumbled across the remains of a bunch of unaccompanied individuals who had not been claimed, that were all cremated. Well, among them were 15 of them were veterans, and this town in Pennsylvania is going to bury all 15 of them with military honors at the National Cemetery of the Alleghenies, and that's going to be on July the 15th. I'm going to try to follow that, but July the 15th, that coroner's office is going to do the right thing in that community, and they're going to honor those 15 veterans. How about that? Oh man, I love those stories. All right. Well, I had another, remember last week we called out people that we all had served with that we were honoring on Memorial Day, and I missed one from my friend and fellow Air Force vet, Diana Fender. She called out her mom's cousin. His name was Thomas James Wells. Served in Korea in 1950. He was killed in action in Korea. He was 17 years old. 17. Wow. And Diana was saying on Memorial Day they went and placed a flag and a flower arrangement on his grave. But he said Diana says that her mom is the last one alive who knew him and was at his funeral. So Diana, I'm sorry I missed that last week, and I'm glad I could correct that and add your cousin Thomas James Wells, Korea, killed in action, 17 years old. Wow. Okay, well, let's see. On to the Thank a Vet Challenge. You know, I don't know if this is a record or not. Who's keeping track? But it's a pretty good total we have this week. And that's thanks primarily to one young lady who is back out and about thanking vets. But we had, let's see, Daryl had, and anybody chime in and correct me if I get any of these wrong, but Daryl had an Air Force vet he ran into, and they had a good conversation. Daryl does a great job, like the rest of you guys, Katie and the others, Ken, when you guys often do a good job of describing the interaction. Daryl met an Air Force guy, fellow Air Force guy. Jim, I've got you down to for the 2 nurses. Lori thanked 3 law enforcement officers and gave them all one of her signature thank you cards. And turns out that 2 of them were also military vets, 1 Army, 1 Air Force. And then, of course, we just jotted Katie's Vietnam vet. I thanked an Army vet at work, a guy I hadn't met before. And my father-in-law, Stan, had an interaction with a World War II Army vet. How about that? That's becoming fewer and far between. And then taking the lead this week was Aunt Paula down in the Aunt Paula, I forget where you're at, Pasco County near Tampa. But Aunt Paula thanked 5 Pasco deputies, 4 Pasco firefighters, a World War II/Korean War vet, a Vietnam vet, 5 Hernando County deputies, an Army vet, and in one gathering, 17 Coast Guard / Navy vets. So what is that? Total 43 thank yous for the week. 43 thank yous. So 43, 42, 40, 37, 36, 35, 34. So 34 of those were Aunt Paula. Wow. I don't know if that's a record, Aunt Paula, but it ought to be. 34 thank yous. Now, remember, she was holed up for about 6 weeks. Aunt Paula had some surgery on her neck, and she couldn't get out, and she's just busted loose now. But so 43 for the week. That makes our total thank you count at 1,524. How about that? 1,524. Remember when we were striving to meet 1,000, and Lori had this banner up here made? Let me scroll remember that 1,000 thank yous? Lori had that banner made. And now we're at, we're at 1,524. So we went past the 1,500 mark. How about that? Well done, everybody. All right. Well, let's see. The only thing in the organization section I could think of was the fine work that they do at the Commemorative Air Force, since I was out at the airport today watching the B-17 fly around, and the way that they're honoring the World War II vets and keeping history alive with an actual artifact, something tangible that you can touch and feel, and just an amazing thing. We do have a race next. I think I'm going to be in shape for this race. I tell you, I'm doing 2 to 3 miles a day. We're doing a 5K in July for Running to Honor. That's Aaron Bartle's organization out of Michigan. So we're going to look forward to that. It's going to be hotter than the Dickens here in Georgia, but we're going to do it anyway. And probably have lunch after at Simplify Bar and Grill, our favorite place. And that's about it for the organizations. And thank goodness I didn't see that we lost any service members this last week, either to combat or accidents. And that is a good thing for sure. All right. Well, hey, listen, remember, Gary Sinise said this, service is a great healer. If you have a broken heart, help somebody else. Your life will be different. Your whole life will be different. So kind of what we strive to do here at Speaking of Zane. While we're honoring him and keeping his memory alive and raising awareness to Veterans Matters and PTSD and TBIs and thanking veterans and first responders. And we've done this for how many times did I say now? 190. Scroll back 194. We're coming up on 200 times, and I'm not tired of it yet. So I guess we'll meet you guys again here next Sunday night. We'll see. I was just informed by Lori, actually, our old pastor from Savannah, is going to be up here in Atlanta at Roswell. I think it's called Roswell Street Baptist Church in Marietta. He's going to be up here next Sunday, so we might have to go see Pastor Alan Boston our old pastor from Southside Baptist Church in Savannah. So we'll let you know how that goes. But okay, well, let me go so I can check on, what did I say I have in the oven? I've got some meatballs in the oven. And then Lori and Hannah and Everett should be coming in here in a little bit. But we will look forward to seeing everybody again next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane. Keith, I'm so glad you could stop by, and I'm glad I could spill the beans on actually who's naming their kid Zane. I know everybody's wondering, who is it? And since you showed up, and it looked like I have the green light there, so appreciate you, buddy. And now you know the origin of Zane. So, all right, everybody. Well, have a great week, and make it count. Thank a vet. Check on your buddies, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody again next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane.